maybe you could begin just by saying who you are, where we are now, and then beginning with, I would say, as much in a steady sequence as you want to. Tell us the story of your years. One of the things that doesn't happen very often, and it's okay, is a picture of what Armenia was like before all of this happened. And if you have any sense or any memory before the persecutions, you might not, but you might paint a picture that if you have any of that, of what kind of country Armenia was, what kind of life you had when it wasn't being persecuted. That is, what was destroyed, so that people have a sense of what you've lost.
Well, I could not really tell you much about that because of my age. But as long as I remember, I have seen hordes of people gathered together and being driven like sheep, and gendarmes on both sides and controlling them, and they keep walking. This is a picture I have in my childhood when I was maybe 4, maybe 5, 6. I have it just like this. I can name all the facts what happened at that time, which was another massacre in my birthplace, the city where I was born. And this was a conflict between the French and the Turks. But the Armenians are being massacred meantime. We thought the French were our saviors. They came to Cilicia, or Turkish-occupied Armenia, where Apostle Paul was born. That part is called Cilicia in the Bible. That's where I come from, Cilicia. From the city of the Armenian name will be Kermanik, and the Turks have changed it into Marash. And we have a book by that name, Kermanik, on this particular city and the dwellers, Armenian dwellers in there.
Tell me a little bit about that city and your family, just in general, to set a kind of sense of place and of you in your town. What is it like? Big, small?
It was a more or less very scenic city. There was.
I have to ask you, just Karmasha was a scenic city, so if we cut there.
Pardon me?
I need to have the name so that if we cut there, we know.
It was the name of the city?
Yeah, so you just said Karmasha
Yeah.
was.
The name of the city was Marash, or in the Armenian language it would be Kermanik, eventually changed by the Turks into Marash. It was a very scenic city with a lot of trees and greenery and running water all over. Every house had a running water 24 hours a day. That's drinking water. And we had very clean environment because of the water coming and gushing down from the Taurus Mountains, where the snow used to accumulate during the winter and give us that beautiful water during the summer. I remember my own home with my family, my father, my mother, my 4 sisters, and my one brother with us very vividly living together in Marash until 1919, when the French people occupied Cilicia, and within a short period of time they decided to retreat. And as they retreated, there were 4,500 Armenians following them to the city of Adana, which is about 250 miles away from the city of Marash, where I was born. During the
Can I stop you just for 1 second?
Sure.
Because I want to hear that. I just wanted to get a little more sense, to paint the picture for people. What was your house like? What was family like?
Okay.
What did your parents do?
All right. We lived happily in that particular house, and my father had 5 vineyards that we used to go during the summer and process the grapes and make all kinds of molasses, candy out of molasses. That's the extent, or that was the extent of our candies. We knew nothing about chocolate or any other candy, the natural candy. So I remember this very vaguely, being in my father's vineyard during the summer months. We were living very happily, the whole family, until 1919, when the war broke out between the Turks and the French. And naturally, the outcome of this was to massacre the Armenians, because the Armenians sided with the French people, taking them for saviors. But that did not happen. The French retreated, leaving us at the mercy of the Turks. And the Turks massacred in about 5-6 weeks' time 20,000 Armenians in my city of Marash.
Did you see that?
Yes. I was only about 6 to 7 years old. Now, some of us were hiding in the basements when the Turks were trying to grab the Armenians to kill them. And after killing so many of them, those who were hiding in the basements, eventually the Turkish gendarmes got into the basements looking for more Armenians to kill. And they gathered about 850 of us from my neighborhood. At this particular time, it was my mother's story to me that there were 2 factions of Turks fighting or arguing with one another, that we were the product of their findings. Therefore, they were going to take us outside of the city and burn us in a kiln to make lime. This was the story that came to me from my mother. And the second faction was that, no, you are not going to take this group of Armenians. We're going to take them, kill them ourselves the way we like to. And between the 2 of them, there were an argument about this whole thing. Who is going to kill the 850 Armenians that they had discovered and pulled out from the basements? Finally, a horde of Armenians, a group of Armenians, being hoarded by gendarmes on both sides. This Turk neighbor came to my mother, and he said to her, Rachel, my mother's name was Rachel, or Rahel in Armenian, why don't you give me this kid here? Let me have him. Mother, knowing that they were going to kill us all, she parted with me and she said, okay, you can have him, thinking that I would be saved by this Turk. And she also had this in her mind, that if they were all massacred and I was alive, I had a knowledge of having a brother in America. Perhaps someday I could join in with my brother in America. So my mother's purpose was to save me from being massacred along with them.
Who was the Turk?
Who was the
Who
Turk?
was the Turk?
His name was Mohammed, and wife's name was Duran, D-U-R-A-N. And they always grabbed me on the street, hugged me, kissed me, and gave me a candy because they had no offspring. Therefore, I was sort of an adopted child for them. And they could not see me getting into that group and massacred with the rest of them. So they asked my mother if she would give me to them. And my mother did give me to them. I was with them for about 7-8 days. Every day the other Turks came and bothered Muhammad and Duran, his wife, that they were keeping an Armenian, which they had made a resolution that they were not going to keep any Armenian living in that city. And Muhammad and Duran begged and pleaded with them to leave me alone. And she said to them, Muhammad's wife said to them, "What do you want from this 6-year-old kid? If you kill the rest of them, we'll kill this one here ourselves. Leave him alone, will you?" Every day this was the story. They used to come to the house and pester them. Finally, Muhammad couldn't take the pressure any longer because there was a great pressure that they were keeping an Armenian. He grabbed a hold of a gendarme and he said to him, "Will you take this kid and deliver him to his father and mother where they are jailed in such and such place with the rest of them? And if you take him and deliver him to his parents, then I'll be relieved of my obligation." The gendarme said, "Okay, I will take him and deliver him to his parents." Now, I knew what entrance my parents and the rest of them used to go into that jail because I saw them. Now the gendarme told me that if you follow me, instead of taking you to your dad and mom from the north gate, I will take you from the south gate. Immediately, as young as I was, it dawned on me that to go through the south gate, we had to go through a field. I said to myself, he is going to take me through the field, and then once we get there, he's going to shoot me and kill me there and disappear. I started crying out loud. I told the gendarme that my father and my mother and the rest of them went through this gate, and I like to go through this gate myself. So when they heard me crying, they ran back. They were not too far away from me. They ran back and grabbed me and took me back to their home for another day. This time, they asked another one, begged him and pleaded with him to take me and deliver me to my parents. And this particular one took me from the north gate into that jail, and they opened the gates and put me in there. And my mother was growing crazy, crying that why did I give him? Where is he now? Where is I was the baby of the family. And
we need to pick it up. It's the conclusion of the story, and I didn't want to lose it if we cut.
Yeah,
the
okay.
airplane, so
tell me if, but there's a good story coming here now,
okay.
once I get in there.
I think you could begin with really when you started crying out and they brought you back, and then
Start from there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be great. Sorry.
The first gendarme wouldn't take me through the north gate into this jail. And I started crying that my parents went through this gate and I like to go through the same place myself. Thinking that he was going to take me through the south gate. In order to go through the south gate, we had to go through a field because I was in the neighborhood where I lived, my home was. And he was going to shoot me and kill me in that field and leave me there and disappear. Therefore, I started crying and saying that my parents went through this gate and I want to go through this gate myself too, which was the north gate. When the Turkish couple, Mohammed and Duran, heard my crying, they came over and took me back to their home for one more day. The next day, they gave me to another gendarme because the civilians couldn't go in there. And this particular gendarme took me through the north gate and delivered me to my parents. And my mother was just overjoyed to see me over there with her. Now, in this place, there were 850 of us in a concentrated place where the doors were locked, nobody could get out. For 34 days, they left us hungry over there. There was no food, no shelter, no blanket, no beds, just plain dirt floor. 850 of us were packed there. My dad, my mom, my sister, my brother, my nephew were all there along with them. Hunger was so that I could not take it any longer. Stop?
Yeah, we have to change tape. 20 minutes.
So you are actually opening vistas for me to be able to express myself in the manner that you like to have it on your tape.
Well, that's wonderful, and you've been more than great in opening yourself up that way.
Right.
You know, because we're moving in many directions at once, but
Yeah.
to really begin to explore several of these. How do you feel about Turks today? How do you feel about the experience? You know, when you look back on that experience and what happened from the massacres to the confinement.
Well, I do not take a person, a Turk, and feel animosity toward him. Recently, one of my Persian customers said to me, I'm going to bring one of my friends to you for clothing. Will you take care of him? But he's a Turk, he said. I said to him, sir, my place is open to anybody. He wants to buy a suit of clothes from me, he's most welcome, Turk or no Turk. I do not hold any animosity. The only feeling that I have personally, so far they have not admitted their guilt as a nation. Not as a person, as a nation. That they have massacred 1.5 million and they are denying it. This is what the Armenians hold against them, number one. Number two, we have left all of our properties in Turkey. We haven't received any restitution so far. Neither we expect it because they are starving to death themselves. If it wasn't for American $4.5 billion that is going from here. Furthermore, our bases that spend so much money there, they'll be starving to death. There'll be a civil war there. Believe me. They don't know how to milk their country. They don't have the know-how to milk that beautiful country. Now that it's theirs, it's not ours. All we're looking for Karabakh, a small place, and Nagorno. And even that they deny us, which happens to be our own for 3,000, 4,000 years. So this is what we hold against them. And the reason there have been some terrorist acts here and there, this was to tell the world at large that, hey, admit your guilt, then we'll leave you alone. And they haven't done it. That's why it has happened. One day there was a documentary on TV for half an hour, the Armenian terrorists. So I watched it. I was happy to see it on TV. And the reporter said the Armenians have killed 50 Turkish diplomats so far. And of course, he said, the Turks massacred 1.5 million Armenians. I mean, he tried to equal it, why the Armenians are killing some Turkish diplomats. If they admitted, none of these would happen. This is the only thing. It's not person to person. It's the country at large, the people at large, the government at large that's not accepting it.
Why do you think, what's important in your mind about someone who's, say, 15 years old today learning about all this?
It's not that important that, let's go back to my own life. I know the history tells me that Persians have massacred Armenians as well. I told you the short story there a little while ago. Now, do I hold that animosity toward the Persians? No, history is history. It's gone. The main importance of this is make sure that this is repeated, it's known, so that it will not happen to any other nation, the same thing again. This is the importance of it. So, if my son, your son, and the other one's son learn about these things, they will be the leaders of this country, of the world, eventually. He has a chance to be in the White House. I couldn't be there, but he could. Born here, right? Therefore, it's important for them to know what has transpired and who their grandparents are.
Anything particularly about the Armenian culture, about what you consider the Armenian spirit, that you want your grandchildren to know about? You know, not just the suffering you went through.
Yeah, we are very warm-blooded. When I see my grandchildren, they hug me as hard as I hug them, and the salutation is as soon as Papa, I love you, Grammy, I love you. One day, Michael, Scott's brother, all my grandchildren were here, and we were having dinner. And during that dinner, Michael was 7 years old. He said, Papa, I'm so happy. I'm so happy you married Grammy. Grammy is the best cooker in the whole world. I never had such a delicious meal in my life. Grammy is the best cooker in the whole world. And he's happy that I married Grammy. Do you see the warmth there?
Yeah. And I see it in them. I see it in meeting Arnie and both kids today in their home and in the home here. I mean, it's clear. Elements of the Armenian culture that you want to see continue in their lives?
Yes.
Values or music or food?
Yeah. Now, we are very, very musically inclined. In the last 60, 70 years, if you look into the composers, how many composers, how many musicians we have given to the world. Prior to that, it was nothing but lamentation. You know, when you go through massacres all the time, all your songs reflect that sorrow. But now you take Alan Juanes, take all the other musicians, Hartunian, you take Khachadurian, all these things we have given. In such a short time, we have given tremendous talents.
Do you want that to be something that your grandchildren know?
They should know, yes, yes, we create talents. We are talented people. We create talents, but if you're constantly massacred, you can't grow anything. If you don't till the soil constantly, you can't grow anything in there. That's what happened for the last umpteen years. But as soon as we gain some freedom outside of Turkey, and everywhere we have created talents, who is the father of plastic surgery? Varastat Kazanjian. He is the father of plastic surgery. Ask any doctor, he'll tell you that. I can tell you talents one after. Who is the foremost astronomer in the world today? Parseghian from Yerevan. And he used to predict things when he was 13 years old. He comes here for lectures and goes back.
You have to pause.
Mhm.
Oh, no. So please.
From.
I'm sorry.
You know I want to do a following you.
One sec, sorry. We were not, because we were confirming. You just kind of come to the conclusion that these are the things. I need you just to repeat the lines of, these are the things that I want our grandchildren to know.
Yeah.
If you could just,
Oh,
if you could just repeat that line, because we didn't get it.
The reason I want my grandchildren and also my children know who their ancestors are and what their background are. We feel that we are talented and we can create talent or many talents in many lines. Therefore, for them it's a great pride to know that they come from a talented race. I always say, not facetiously, but this is my truest feeling. Can you name one invention that was invented by a Turk, that the world at large is enjoying it? Here, I'll tell you something. Maybe you do, maybe you don't know. See that ink there? That is made by an Armenian. Look into it if you don't believe me, I know you do. This green ink is made by an Armenian, and still it's his patent, and still the same ink being used. This was some maybe 75, 80 years ago. So these are the areas that I don't say this as a nose up. Don't get me wrong, please. But we are talented, and we were killed for our talents because we were intelligent. That's why we were killed. What did the Germans say to the Turks during World War I? They said, you have a very intelligent race among you. If you do not take care of them while they are young, they may be a problem eventually. Why don't you move them from one city to another? Take Boston Armenians, move them to New York Armenians, move them to Chicago or New Jersey, whatever. And what did the Turk do? Took them all, deported into the Arabian desert, and massacred them. So it's very important for my offsprings to know that we are a talented race. And I don't hang my hat on my ancestors becoming the first Christian. But I'm proud that I come from those genes. Today, a Jewish professor who's a customer of mine, he's at BU. God, he said, I've known you 7 years and you haven't changed a bit. That's that Armenian gene in you, he says to me. He's so much interested in Armenian history. He'll ask me a lot of questions every time he comes. And I said to him, you heard the story a little while ago, what my childhood was right through. And the health that I enjoy, I'll be, August 21st, I'll be 75. The health that I enjoy today, knock on wood, going through all those trials and tribulations, hunger, massacre, and I also had typhoid. My mother used to tell me, right after that jail, my mother used to tell me 3 times she cried for me that I was dead and gone, and I came back to life.
Hold this a second.
I was ready to take any kind of.
I feel that the next conversation we might have, the next time we talk, I'd love to be somewhat reflective about this whole question, if you could, to think some about it, of what's important and why to pass on to our kids and to the next kids, and what you'd like to see them learn from the suffering, but also I absolutely love the positive things that you're bringing up, because so often let it roll. It's described as a negative suffering, and what you're bringing up are those strengths of the Armenian character and culture. And I think that's wonderful, because it's a very positive and a very optimistic and a very upbeat approach. What would you say to some kid, your own grandchild or some other kid, who would say, that's all in the past, I'm an American, I don't want to remember any of it. I'm not an Armenian, I didn't suffer, I didn't do well, I didn't invent plastic surgery, none of those heritages matter. I'm an American, and that's what I am, and I don't want to know about.
You mean past. When a kid would?
If a kid would say, I don't want to know about this past. I don't. If Armenian kids say.
Yeah.
Would say, and maybe your grandchild. I don't want to know about this because I'm not that. I'm an American. What would you say to him, and how would you feel, or what would you try to?
I would say and feel that the kid is so indifferent, nothing means anything to him. Whether his nationality, whether his background, whether his family background, national background, he's just an indifferent kid. Therefore, he is not a good American. I wouldn't call him a good American. Now, I'm a very strong American. Why? Because it's this country who provided me with whatever I have enjoyed. The freedom, the type of life, the essentials of life, the bounty of life. It's this country that gave it to me. Today, if America would declare war on Armenia, what would I do? I would fight on the side of America. And that's my sincerest feeling. Would I like to kill my own brother? No. But if America says this is what we have to do, I would fight on the side of America, without considering who is across from me. That's my feeling about America. Anybody who tells me that I couldn't care less where all these Americans came from, I'm an American, I don't want to know anything else, he's not an American. He doesn't deserve to be in this country. Really, he doesn't deserve. We appreciate this country far more than those who are born and brought up here, not because we are different than them, because they have not experienced what we have experienced. Therefore, it makes this country so dear to us, so valuable to us. This is the difference between an American-born and those of us who come from the other side into open freedom. And this is what I like to teach my kids. Though you're born here, but you're part of me. You went through the same suffering even though you were not there as a nation.
Because of the plane. Sorry, it's very important. It's very high and very slow.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's
It's
hardly,
very-
you hardly hear it really.
Okay, I'm sorry. Could you start
Yeah.
that again? This is what you would like to tell your kids.
That I
Start
would,
with the whole sentence.
yeah, I would like to tell my kids that it's a great concern of theirs to know what went on back in the old country, what transpired and what their ancestors went through, so that they will realize that they were born in a free country because of our foresight to come to this country. If I was in some other country, Scott would not be in this country. Michael wouldn't be. Holly wouldn't be. Jeffrey wouldn't be. My own kids wouldn't be here in a free country. Therefore, I chose the right country for them. And for this, they should be very grateful to be born in this country and my efforts to come to this country. Believe me, you don't know what I went through to come to this country.
You said every day for
Yeah.
11 years?
11 years, every day was a dream. And
Just you may have a question. I'm sorry. We're just so
Sure.
short on tape. I want to
Yeah, okay.
first response.
Yeah, I want to ask him, given that this is a tape that's going to be seen, about you can thoughts on.
yes, there are many lessons to be derived from this story. First of all, they should count their blessing that they have not gone through this kind of trials and tribulations, and they have inherited a free country in a free atmosphere. Do what you like, providing you don't hurt anybody. Therefore, it's a great privilege to be an American, and it's the greatest life to live in a free country like this. Every school student that see this tape, they should realize that they are living in a beautiful, beautiful America, and they should realize it. They should know that they are living in a beautiful America. This is the lesson that I like to leave with all those who view this story or the picture. They are fortunate to be born in this country, but they should also know what their ancestors have gone through. This is what I like to leave with them.
Yeah, I like that.
Hi, Scott.
Bob.
Ready to go?
Yeah.
Where are your skis?
Still up in the boathouse.
Huh?
It's up in the boathouse. I haven't brought it down yet.
Why don't you get them down here?
Should go. It's nice.
Ready to go, huh? Good. Good. So, you know what you're going to do today? All day? Huh?
Pretty much.
You're going to ski now? Where's Wayne?
It's in the back. Should be. He said he was.
Did you do any skiing this morning?
No. They did, but I just couldn't wake up that early. I was
No?
too tired. Not this morning.
Uh-huh.
I went knee boarding and laughed when I woke up. Everything almost ready for the sermon?
Yeah, I did quite a bit this morning. I went all around
I saw.
passing the flyers for sermon on the lake.
Yeah, I saw.
Everybody was enthused over it, and I hope we'll have a nice day. You're going to be here?
I hope to, yeah.
I think so, yeah. You want us to walk around?
Sure.
Mom, we'll put Shane on a leash.
Want to come back down together?
Good.
The lake's nice and calm. Like we just woke up.
Crystal clear, isn't it? Huh?
It's nice.
Don't you feel like jumping in there? Huh?
Possibly, yeah. We're going scuba diving today.
Yeah.
Since we were late. I'm scuba diving.
Did you?
I was using Uncle Fred's equipment.
Uh-huh.
It's not really supposed to use, but unless you have a...
You want us to walk around just the same here? Move around.
I'm ready.
Count to 5. I mean, no speed.
Like you just were.
Which is, Harry, speed is 5 seconds.
Richard, tell him a good joke.
Speed.
Action!
Watch.
Good idea. Good idea.
They're gonna just hang out there for a while, aren't they? No. Oh, shoot. Wait.
Hold on. Sorry.
Action.
No.
You
Oh.
can just talk a bit.
Yeah.
Stay here for a while.
Yes. Anytime.
You can walk now. Yeah, that's right. And you will perhaps take me after Papa someday. Okay?
I still gotta see the boat.
Yeah, that's right. Come here, I'll show you my flowers here. These here, the bouquet I brought it from Belmont. Those are the Belmont flowers. And these are the ones I planted here, so that keeps me busy here. Like these here. You know the names of these?
No.
Huh? Well, these are dahlias here. The taller ones are dahlias. Those are tiger lilies. Now these are aspens. That's black-eyed Susan. Do you like Susan? Huh? Everybody likes Susan, right? So we have that too, black-eyed Susan. And these are baby bread here, which I grow them very successfully here at home. And you know what I do with those pines here? Give them a haircut every season, so they'll stay nice and short, and also keeps the backwood intact. No erosion. Come on, Shayna. Come on, Shayna. Don't bother me. Yeah, that blue wild whiskey, yeah. And I'll say action.
Action.
You look over here, see that? My love for gardening goes way back into my childhood. I always wanted to have a house lot with a lot of flowers around my house. And I was fortunate enough to have a nice house and plant my own garden, my own trees, my own fruit trees. I have apricots, as you know. I have plums, I have pears, I have cherries,
Back home.
I have back home. I have quinces. Then I have some exotic plants, as you know, such as I have lemons,
Yeah.
Sorry,
I
Richard.
have
Pause for a
kumquat.
sec. Sorry, I didn't mean. Roll tape. Wait a sec. I'll say action. Don't go yet.
I think it's going to come stronger. Can we stop for a second, restart, or?
Okay. Pause tape.
It's okay now, huh? Clear. Why don't you sit down here?
Yeah, well,
Uh-huh.
you get in and I'll get us out of here.
Huh? No.
You
You
get
go.
in and I'll get us out of here. All right?
Then you'll undo this, I'll undo that, and we'll get going.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready, I'll jump in.
Anytime.
Okay? Okay, pull your legs. Pull your legs. Ah, this is the way you get going, backwards. You like rowing? Do you?
Can't do it right here.
Huh? Why?
Sometimes you do.
Is it confusing? So easy.
There you go.
Huh? We used to have rowboat races here years back. Yeah, I used to participate rowing. So many of them. Someday you gotta learn rowing too. It's easy. You wanna try? Huh? That's not making a fool out of yourself. Come on, say something.
Don't look at us.
Yeah. Why are you doing that? To help me out? Huh?
I'm going the wrong way.
So you want to try? Huh? You want to try rowing? No?
Go ahead, Scott. Give it a try.
Yeah.
We can hear you.
Yeah. Yeah, try it. Try it. Yes, you can do it. That's it. Hold it to the center. Hold these two together. That's it. Nothing to it. You can do like that too, yes. You want to change places? No. You're doing okay. That's nice. You got the idea. Faster now. Hold your oar straight, sharp. Sharp on the water. That's it. So you gain more space that way. To your left, stronger on your left. Now turn around. You've done this before, the way it looks. Huh?
Yeah. I didn't think you got it when you saw that. Yeah, break up and switch it.
Uh-huh. Now both. No, both hands. Both hands. This one is stronger. Hey, you're not doing bad. Next time I don't believe you when you tell me you don't know it. Now let me take it over, okay? Shall I go further out?
A little bit. Thank you.
Hey, Scott, I want to see you row backwards.
Okay. Let me take him out first.
Make him get his own way home.
I hear ya.
Yes, we can, Scott. Copies of the tape will be on sale after dinner.
Now go ahead, you do it backwards.
Going in now?
Yeah.
Backwards?
Yeah. Take this. Use that. All right, give it. Scott, do it.
I want Scott to try and go backwards, like he's going forward.
All right. How you have been influenced by Grandpa?
Rolling.
Whether
Good
it's,
conversation.
Character building, whether it's good living, clean environment.
Is the
Good,
Don't anybody land on the dock here.
moral building environments, you know.
Don't look at us.
Don't look at us, guys.
Keep on
Susu,
looking.
you can't pause.
Hey, there's a microphone. They'll say, Grandpa didn't teach him good English. Maybe a train over there too. When the trains, they shut off. If I speed up on this boat here, can you ski on this? We have a few faults, huh?
Hold a second. Pause.
Pause.
Hey, you're doing all right for someone who didn't know how to walk. It didn't take too long to learn the tricks. Yeah, they're taking it. They are taking it on.
Okay.
Well, I guess as soon as
Action! If you could talk about the lake and how much it means to both of you and how it's
Okay.
changed.
Now tell me, what would you be doing if we did not have this lake here and the facilities that we have provided for these years? Yes, sir. Tell me. What would you be now? What would you be doing now? Watching TV? What else would you be doing? That's right. So, are you happy at Paradise?
Yeah.
You need to row towards us. Towards us. That's great. And sideways a little bit, you know. Yep. Super. And towards us. Right up to where we are. And you can talk about anything. Anything you want.
Now tell me some more. What else would you be doing? But you're happy that we have this place that can make good use of it. Yes, I'm so happy for you. Does the surrounding here, the lake, the mountains mean anything to you? What? And you come here for a real retreat. Yeah, quiet. Now, shall I give it to a start?
Either way, just don't look at us. Come towards us more. You've got to come.
Let's get it now.
Yeah, I did.
Huh?
Yeah, I did.
You do?
Yeah, I want the meeting closer.
I can't hear you, Susan.
Yes, pause. If they were come really...
Everybody is watching. You see that? Now, you anxious to go in? No. Is that a call for us?
And then do the foghorn. Everybody will come down. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what is your...
Hurry up! Yeah, let's go. Pause.
I think we should turn in now.
Well, when the orders come
Hold
in.
on, guys. Hold on. Are you ready?
Guys! Come on, Mom said it's time for dinner! Dinner time! Can't you run as faster? Come on!
Lucky they're being told to say that. I'm not rolling.
Come on!
You
Get
are,
cold!
I'm going the wrong way.
huh? Yeah, but this way they can take us. Can get it.
Come on, Papa! Come on, go
Okay.
faster.
All right, coming in.
What are we supposed to do?
Is the dinner ready?
Alright, now turn out and come in.
Wave him in one more time.
Come on! Come on!
Wait.
Again.
Go! Come on, Papa.
Alright. Start to make a turn. Start to make a turn.
Okay, I will.
Just get the front, okay?
I'm not rolling.
Hey, Papa.
Hi, Sonny. Well, what a surprise! All the three of you.
Yep.
Three makes four.
I know, you guys are late for dinner. What's the deal?
Is the dinner ready?
Yeah, we've been ready. We've been sitting down waiting for you guys.
Good.
Just go up there, Mom, and get that. I got it. There, now can we take the anchors? Hey, Pop.
Hi, Sonny. This was a nice ride.
That's good. Are you hungry after rowing all that much?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you are,
What
man.
did you cook?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Grammy just told us that.
Okay to come out?
Ready?
Yep, go ahead.
Yep, come on, it's time for dinner. Let's go. Okay, wait, hold it for Papa. Time for dinner.
Hi.
Hi, how you doing? I'm holding for you. Come on.
Michael.
I don't need to.
Come on, Scott. Let's go. Let me hold the boat. Jeez, I'm going down. Get the front.
Hi, honey.
Holly, it's time. How are you? Good to see you.
Likewise here.
Come on, let's go, Holly. Don't you want faster? Come on, Scott. Please.
All set?
Yeah.
Action.
Come on, boys. Come on. Let's greet the family.
Yep.
Hey, everybody's here.
Hi guys.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hi, son.
Hello, Dad.
How are you? How's my favorite
Good.
grandson?
How are you?
Son-in-law.
Son-in-law.
How you doing?
Have a good ride?
Yeah, that was a nice show. Hi, Alan. How are you? Hi, son. Where's my wife?
She's in the kitchen.
Where's
Where else?
Angel?
She's cooking.
She's in the kitchen. Where else?
Is she coming?
Yeah, Dad. You know,
Cooking or
she's
something?
always cooking in the kitchen.
We're gonna get
Don't you want my wife?
I'm not eating out.
We spilled something in there. Not salty.
What else are you? They have
I always said that word. Special for you. Underwater penis.
How'd you get here, Fred? How did you know we were waiting for you here?
Sunday afternoon, big feed, I know.
Yeah, we need to be fed, you know.
Help yourself.
Starved to death.
Help yourself. Cream cheese.
Do you guys
Are you
have a good
starving
roll?
Armenian, Dad?
What?
Yeah, why don't you talk in Armenian?
Are you a-
Okay, come on, Graham.
Oh, look, he's out of the kitchen.
Hi, Graham.
I'm here. Hi, honey.
Angel, can you do that one more time?
Do it one more time.
Non-stop.
We need some more cheers. Dad, no, I don't think you should talk.
We gotta get that in there somewhere.
Stick with your stomach.
What?
I want to do it right.
No,
What?
Dad,
Holly, why don't you get a chair, honey?
I'm alright.
Oh.
She's
You're
alright.
covering,
It's me
but
that's
you're
weird.
covering mother.
It's alright. It's alright. But who used?
Don't
Oh, shoot! I got a sense of humor for this. You did?
Yeah, but if you want to. Unless it's...
Well, it's a nice day.
It was a nice day, son.
It's not deep.
What the? Oh,
No,
ski?
it's just
It's a few scratches.
Yeah, it's. I think it's just the weight. Did you do any skiing, Wayne?
Where's
This
mother?
morning I did.
Who took you? Where's
Mother's in the
Janet took
kitchen,
me.
Cooking.
the car?
where she always is.
Beautiful.
Was it?
A few waves. There were one or two boats that had gone out
Yesterday,
before.
when I skied.
First
Janet
time
went
I've
skiing
seen
this
one of those
morning.
rafts.
Did you ski
First time
today,
in 3 years.
We have rafters.
Arnold?
What? I know.
Yeah,
No.
the boat
Did
is
you ski?
parked.
Jenny Green.
He
You
doesn't.
ski?
There's growth in it.
I do.
Oh my God! I thought you were.
He's the one who's coordinated
Got my stomach.
with the SM.
Yeah. Oh, he's lovely, Mr. Buckley.
Can I sip your water, Dad? Wayne, they gotta film the bottom of your foot.
What are you
I
drinking,
know.
Jeffrey?
I,
Oh, I just have something on my
At least, well, see, even with it wiggling, Wayne, it's just, I don't know what it was.
Oh, it's sick.
Plain water. Film your wiggling foot.
Ah, there comes.
Oh, hey, Grammy.
Hey!
Hello.
Good to see you out of the kitchen.
Yeah, I'm out.
Hi, Grammy.
Hi there.
How are you?
Fine.
Did you cook?
Yes,
what are
everything
we
is ready.
eating, huh?
Surprise. Just kebab and pilaf.
You must be hungry, Fred.
I am very
Huh?
hungry.
How about you?
We're hungry because we just had a hard day of skis, man.
My favorite
Feed us.
granddaughter.
Yeah, I got a rough life.
Tough life, Jack.
Well, you can have all you want.
Everybody can stand up now, I guess. Walk around this. You can move around.
You can stand up
You're
now?
free. Yeah.
We're doing it. Sitting
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's go skinny dipping. No.
Fred, thank you very much for this beautiful job you've done.
Anything now is
pleasure.
just up to you. We'll just do what you normally do.
Well, I was going to bring and pass it around. I didn't know if you
Well,
wanted to
I gotta
take that.
thank you.
Well,
At least, besides doing other things.
Scott wants to ski.
Right?
See if we're gonna
Right.
do. I don't know how long the weather will
Can I
hold
go
out for us.
Can I go after you? Can I go after you, Mike?
Why don't we take it one at a
That's what we
time?
did on rainy days.
Let's go.
Well, you're suddenly anxious.
So, you learned how to row, didn't you? Huh? Yeah, but about
Scott
time.
wants to
Huh?
ski. He does too. The guy who never wanted to
you
ski.
go skiing with us, huh?
Yeah, there was a time he never wanted to ski.
Good thing you did a good job, huh?
Really
I
hard.
was waiting for it to start sinking.
Can I please?
Down
We have to redo your strike.
Uncle Wayne. My
Sure.
good uncle. I'm trying to find a dog. You did a good job.
Don't bug your uncle here.
People are there working.
Ask them if I go skiing.
Yeah, sure.
It's so funny. Those people over there.
Binoculars out there.
At the zoo.
I think I'm
Okay,
getting...
watch it, honey. It's hot.
Yes, but I'm a strong man. I can handle it.
It's hot. It's hot. Take a napkin.
Take a napkin.
Take a napkin.
Wow, it's hot.
It
Graham,
is
why
hot.
didn't you tell me it was hot?
Take a napkin.
Pass the napkin, son. That's it.
Thank you.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead, I mean, pass the napkin.
Here, Michael, do you want a napkin, son?
Mom, do you want
Sure.
to put that down on the table?
Well, that's all right. I'll pass it first.
Thank you.
You want one?
Yeah, Eileen.
All right, give me some.
I like your Armenian food, don't you?
You
Good, I'm
said
glad-
it, Jeffrey.
I'm glad you enjoy
Here.
it. Where's the napkin?
You're all Armenian.
That's right. Wait.
Maybe just because I was sleepy and tired, didn't get rest. Thank you.
Arnold.
Is it good? Hot. Yeah, I thought it was
Who didn't have
Helen?
any? Who didn't have any?
Why aren't you over
9
there?
o'clock. I think everybody had one.
Oh,
I didn't have any. I only had one.
Oh, I'll give you
the
another
rest
one.
is coming.
Thank you.
I only had one.
Yes, I'll take gin and tonic.
Where's
But
that? Where's that?
go over there and get your picture there.
Hot.
How about that gift? Yes.
I didn't have any.
You didn't have your
They're hot.
thing, I
We
know
went
it.
wee all the way home.
I know it.
The little piggy didn't have any?
But you will. I will. There's one there, Angel.
All right, I'll get.
Thank you.
You guys go skiing?
You want to hold one
You guys
for
go
him?
skiing?
Yeah. Is that your ski?
Yeah.
Is that Scott's ski?
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks, Mom. I know. You gonna go? Yeah.
I'll take one.
Miguel.
Thank you.
Why not? So nice. Yeah, I did.
You like the skirt for
I
berry
might.
skiing?
It must feel like it's fun, but
Molly, would you like another one there?
I
know you went through.
better at it.
I know you went through this more than these.
I'll have another one, Graham.
I do.
Thank you. Give me some.
You had two,
Please.
didn't you?
Yes, I did, but I'm still hungry, Graham.
Well,
Is it hot?
not to fill up. Okay, one more.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. My beautiful
You're
grandma.
welcome. Okay.
The other one?
It's the favorite during the summer. Barbecue shish kebab. And they all enjoy it too.
They all light eaters, Angel?
Okay.
No, not during the summer. The fresh air has a way of building their appetite here. That's part of the fun. They swim, they exercise, and they're hungry. Have you had this yourself? Have you had?
Guys, we can put that.
We'll introduce you to some of the Armenian food today. We're all set to go now.
Where are you going to take them to the grill?
Yes, in a few minutes. Usually I make it all with lamb, but a lot of the folks like beef too, so today I made it with beef sirloin tips.
Is that why you came in? Oh, that's okay.
You gonna go in? You gonna go in? You gonna go after Jeff?
I'm not going to slalom. It's pretty rough out there. I might just get this. You're going to shotgun? tell us a little bit about where we are and how long and what this all means to you? How long you've had it?
Yes, I can tell you quite a bit about this place. I have been in this. I hope you didn't take my clapping.
No.
Yeah.
But just conversation.
Yeah.
Just talk to me.
Yeah, we have been very fortunate to have a place like this. It was more or less a great dream of mine since my childhood, to have a place where I could come and relax and enjoy the nature in its full form, with all the blessings that the Lord has given us. And I was fortunate enough to be able to make my way into this country back in 1933. And since then I've had a dream to own a place. And I did not hesitate a moment. Even at the worst part of Depression years, I always dreamed of a place like this. And one year when we got married, back in 1939, we were looking for a place to come for about 2-3 days for a weekend. And it so happened that we landed here in one of the bungalows further down on the lake. And as I was going around on the lake with my rowboat, I always looked around to see what other beauties there are on the lake that I could really look and enjoy. And when I came with my rowboat to this particular spot, it looked so beautiful to me I couldn't pass on. Until one day I stopped in and asked a lady here if there was any cottage for sale on the lake, if she knew of anybody. She said to me, well, there is one, the second cottage here, perhaps they might sell, but I don't know their name, but I'll get the name from the tax office and give it to you. Which she did, and she gave me the name, and I looked at that cottage, and I wasn't too impressed by the cottage, but I had my eye set on this one here. The same year, I received a letter from Florida. She said in her letter that perhaps you don't remember me. You came to my cottage and inquired about another cottage, and I got the name and gave it to you. I am that lady. My name is Mrs. Sherwin. If you haven't bought a cottage as yet for your family, we are planning to sell our cottage. I thought it was a dream that I was seeing. I read the letter over again, and that was the truth, that they want to sell this place. I called them back on the phone, and I told them that I would be interested in their cottage, but I'd like to show it to my family. We made an appointment to meet them here on Mother's Day, the following spring. And on Mother's Day, we packed a lunchbox. I packed my family. Arnold was about maybe 14 years old. Eileen was about maybe 10 years old. Wayne was 7 years old. So we came here to see the cottage and show it to the family. And the family was so impressed by it that Wayne, Eileen, and Arnold began to tell me, Daddy, let's buy it. Daddy, let's buy it. So to make a long story short, I was sold on it myself too, with the family. I bought the place and we moved in here. What did it mean to me and to my family? It meant a lot because I was able to have my family here all the time. I was with them, they were with me. They had a very clean and clear environment to enjoy. They had a chance to swim. They had a chance to ski. They have a chance to read and relax and enjoy the beauty of the surrounding. So since 1959 we have owned this place here, and we have had our family together. And I'm fortunate to say not only my own family has enjoyed this particular summer home, also now my grandchildren. They are always with me and I am with them. They mean a lot to us, we mean a lot to them. Grammy is their dream and great Grammy for them. Papa is also a real Papa for them. Therefore, what it did, it kept my family intact, and we're always together, and the foundation is a very strong foundation. No matter what happens, the family is together, in good times or bad times.
Do you think, thinking back to all that you went through as a survivor, do you think it has a special meaning that you have your family together?
It has a very special meaning, yes, because...
You have to need a whole sentence on that. It has a special meaning to me as a survivor to have my family.
It has a special meaning to me as a survivor. It's something that I have enjoyed, which I was unable to enjoy with my own family back in Turkey or Armenia. It was denied from us. It was taken away from us. We could not really be free individuals. We could not be free people. We could not do whatever we wanted to do in our own country. That was totally denied from us. Not only we were second or third class citizens, we are a slave to them. They took us for non-believers, and they did not even call us Christians. They called us infidels, which means non-believers. Coming from a condition of this nature from Armenia and under Turkish rule, and enjoying such...
Hold one sec just till the boat goes by. Sorry, hold on a minute. Having a good time out there.
Mm-hmm.
Just a sec.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
Coming from a Turkish oppression, Turkish rule, and denial of everything, and enjoying such a beautiful life, comfortable life, we have everything we need. We enjoy our daily pleasure, and I can't thank enough the Lord that we are in a free country like this. And a lot of children here in this country, they do not realize what freedom means until they lose it. I had lost it, but I have found it back, for which I thank very much the Lord and the government of the United States.
Is there something unbelievable that you could have, that the same person that has this place and his family around is the same person who was in that cell wondering who was going to open the door? Do you ever find it like unbelievable that you could be the same person?
You can call it a dream if you want, but a dream that's accomplished, a dream that has been pursued and attained at. Ever since I was a child, this was my dream. It could have been a vineyard, it could have been a lot of grapevines, it could have been a lot of almond trees or apricot trees or fig trees. But this is beautiful for me. I don't have the figs and almond and apricots here, but I do have them at home in Belmont. The lesson that is to be concluded out of this is an average American student should realize what real freedom means, what it does to a person, how much opportunities it can open to anybody who is ready and willing to work and accomplish his dreams. This is what America is all about. And the students of this country, the young kids of this country, should realize this always, that they have something that they do not know until they lose it. And I hope they never lose it.
Is there any, my last question,
Yes.
is there any special part of your own youth in Armenia that you feel this natural setting kind of helps recreate in your grandchildren? You know, you talked a lot to us in your interview about your connection to the land and to I'm just wondering if there's any, do you think this setting gives them anything special?
Yes, it does. As a matter of
I
fact,
need an intro sentence on that.
yeah, the whole setting means something that my family has more or less enjoyed so far. What it means to them that, Papa, we are so fortunate to have you, that you have bought this place way back. Now we are enjoying it. It has given them a sense of appreciation. It isn't that, well, it's there and we have it. They have a sense of appreciation, and I'm quite sure between my wife and I, we have been able to tell them the real story, that this kind of a thing is accomplished only by working and setting a goal for yourself, and never stop until you attain to that goal there.
Do you think there's anything in your experience as a survivor that developed that feeling in you? You know,
Yes.
belief that you can survive? And
When I was a child back in Armenia, as I mentioned to you, we were denied of everything that we could enjoy as a kid. We, as I mentioned before, freedom, food, freedom of speech, everything was denied. And I used to say to myself, someday, if I ever get to that freedom, and I will take my grudge out of this particular torture that I've been going through. I have been deported. I have lived under tents. I've lived under storms, muddy floors, and all these things have set a goal for me that someday when I get to that freedom, I am going to take my vengeance out of this torture. It has, yes, taught me a lot, and I have worked toward that non-stop.
it must give you some self-confidence to know that you puts things in perspective, that if you've survived those kinds of things, some of the day-to-day problems or difficulties must seem a lot more surmountable because of it.
Yes, I agree with you that daily problems and daily problems of life or business or family conditions, I always take it philosophically. That yes, today I have it, but tomorrow I will overcome it. I always look at it that way, and I work at it that way, and I have been able to do it. I never succumb under pressure. There's always the sun behind the clouds, and I see that sun while the clouds are there. Therefore, I never cave in until I overcome my problems.
What do you personally like to do most up here? You, when you're here with yourself, what do you enjoy about this area?
When I am here with free time, the first thing I do in the morning, I hop into my rowboat and I go all around, just watch my surroundings and the beautiful handiwork of the Lord. The mountains, the valleys, the trees, the birds, the fishes, whatever there is in the environment. I enjoy everyone's presence, And I thank the Lord to be in a beautiful surrounding like this, that He has made a beautiful home for me here. It's very enjoyable for me. Then, when I come back in my rowboat, the first thing I do, I jump in the lake and swim. Then from there I come and I work in my yard and fool around with my plants, fool around with my garden. I like to see some colors here and enjoy them, but I have to work at it to be able to enjoy it. Therefore, I give everything I do my undivided attention. And that's the only way you can attain to what you like to do.
Good. You have any? Phil, why don't you swap it to? Thank you. This is great. We're rolling. We've got Armenian digging.
I don't know who's digging, but
Well,
yeah,
even
okay.
the grill
Got
is
it.
fine, so-
Got it. Well, I've got them. They're just standing there. So you can't leave them through the grill hole because they're standing in front of it. Okay.
I'm going to come back to you.
Are you so long? Okay.
We'll go over there to the grill and then finish this question. You'll sit.
Yep.
It doesn't happen very often. But I'd like to know, just almost personally, in your gut, the feelings, the attitudes you have when you look around at a family gathering and see all your grandchildren and
Shall I say? The Ottoman Empire had a resolution back in 1915 to annihilate the entire race from the face of this planet. They made that strong resolution and they worked toward that back in 1915 to 1922-23. Although they were successful to a certain degree annihilating 1.5 million Armenians, but they were not successful in annihilating the entire race from this planet. We think that they failed in their aim. We are the victorious ones. We are still here. No matter where we have gone, no matter where we have been deported, penniless, without any food, we have always come up on top. I came to this country with $500 debt, and I worked my way up to the comforts I enjoy today. You take all the Armenians who have been deported from Turkey or Turkish-occupied Armenia, they have come up on top, no matter what line it is. Today, we are about 500,000 in this country, from coast to coast. And yet, there isn't a single line that I cannot show you a prominent Armenian in that line. May it be scientific, medicine, business, whatever it may be. We always climb on top, or we are swimming in whatever we're doing. We are not sinking.
that feeds into part of your interview. We have that part of that interview. But when you look at the families together for a gathering or something, do you ever look at your grandchildren? What goes through your head? You ever say they would have been dead if they had been there, or I mean that what goes through your head?
Yeah. Well, what goes through my head? Number one, as I came to this country, that was +1 for me. And as far as my family is concerned, it's all pluses for them, because I came here and I established a Parseghian family. And we all have been a happy, one solid family, as you noticed a little while ago. They respect us and we love them. Being a true grandpa and grandma, we have projected deep love, and that's all we receive from them as an answer. We are loved by them. We are missed by them. Therefore, to be in this country, free country, it has been a great life for my family and for us to see our family in freedom rather than under pressure and oppression and deportation. Therefore, it has meant a lot for my family and as well for any Armenian family.
Okay, yeah.
Great.
You ready?
Yeah, I guess.
Just relax.
Okay, it's rolling. And speed.
Okay. So that's what I want to know is, what over the years, what story has kind of stood out for you that you heard your grandfather say?
I think one story that stood out in my mind out of all of them was one story he told us I think it was one afternoon we were here at the lake, and told us about a story of how he had to starve for 30 days without any food. That really stood out in my mind. I think even to this day, whenever someone asks me about a story, to tell them, I always think of that one. I can't really believe it.
What about it can't you believe?
It's hard, you can't, I've never had to, you never really hear much about that. I've never had to starve, without food. Just no food at all, and that really amazed me.
You ever told that story to any friend or girlfriend or anything?
Yeah, I have to my friends a lot, because they ask me about it, When they ask me, everyone's talking about what nationality they are, and they're always interested because you never hear much about it, about Armenian, so it's kind of fun.
Does knowing this is like a big piece of history that most people are unfamiliar with. Does knowing your grandfather make any of this more real?
Much more real. To hear him.
Start that with a sentence.
Knowing my grandfather makes it seem much more real. The whole story of it. Reading it in a book, it doesn't seem as, you can't picture it, but seeing him, telling the story, you can see it in his face, and you can really get a feeling for, how it really was.
Good. Keep going. That's good. Does it ever, does knowing somebody like your grandfather who went through so much suffering, okay, does that ever make you more aware, do you think, of when you see suffering in the world today? Or does it ever connect, or you ever see some suffering that somebody's going through and somehow you feel as though you're a little more aware of it, or you recognize it more because you know someone personally who went through something like that?
Knowing my grandfather, I think it makes it seem like this really does happen. You see it on TV and you're never really imagining it happening to yourself or anyone you know, really. But hearing the stories that he's told and watching him tell them, you can tell what a tragedy it is and how hard it must have been.
Describe to me one of the nicest scenes with your grandfather that you think you've ever had.
Would have to be up here, I think. There's not really one, I think. I think mostly when he talks about how it was, his family.
Start that over. Some of the nicest times with my grandfather have been.
Okay. Some of the nicest times with my, because I looked away.
Yeah, look at me. And then as you tell it, really tell, just tell a few details, like what it's like to be around.
Okay. Some of
Because it's not a normal thing for, not a normal thing. There aren't a lot of teenagers who have grandparents who've gone through these kind of things, but have stayed connected on. I mean, this family, we've seen, it just stays real connected to each other. It's kind of that that we're trying to explain. What you get out of it, just what's nice about it. I mean, just what's nice about it.
Some of the times that I mostly think of are here, the nicest times with him, being at the lake and all of us together, I think, with my cousins, and it's always a very big family, and it's kind of a good feeling, everyone together, and it seems it's more close, everyone's here, and I think when he tells us stories about, how it was, overseas, and it's hard to imagine living here my whole life. It's hard to imagine how it really was back then, and that he really lived through all that. It's kind of amazing to me, surprising that he did.
Had you ever heard about the history of this any other way, or was it always just through your grandfather?
It was always through my grandfather. Any of the stories that I have ever heard about Armenians has been through my grandfather. I haven't ever. I've picked it up in a few books that I've read. A little bit about Armenians. It's just like a sentence or something. Never anything in detail about it. So I don't think I would have known anything about it really, or even been interested in it if it hadn't been for being my nationality. So.
You ever run into that with your friends?
Yeah, everyone's German or English, or it's kind of funny, most people are, it seems like everyone's like, so what are you? And, I'm like, well, Armenian. They're like, oh, wow, wow. Like I think more, a lot of people are aware of it, of the nationality, but don't know really where it's from, where it comes from, or what it's about or anything. So.
Do you ever have any awkward moments with friends talking to them about it?
Yeah, I think in the beginning it's kind of hard, not with my close friends, but with other people, like just people that you've just met or something, and you say you're Armenian, and then they look at you for a minute, like sort of, I guess, blank kind of for a minute, and then you have to explain. Feel kind of funny because it's not as well known as some of the others. So.
What's your last name?
Hertel. Okay.
Brad, you're on candid camera.
You need help? Yeah. Just give it, hand it here out. This way it'll be easier. That's right.
That was something like that.
Oh, thought you were just hitting me for the fun of it. That's all she wrote.
Okay.
Thank What? We're not here, remember? Yeah, I know. No, no.
Hey, yo, Pop! Pop! It's the guy! Here comes Chuck.
Oh, Harry?
Jeffrey's gonna go out. Hi, Mike. How are you? James in a hurry. How are you, Mike?
Huh?
Summer's been going. Jeff, how are you?
Good.
Sun out well.
Wait. Do you mind if Scott was in the boat and I could keep?
Like one highest. I know.
What do you want the pillow to?
In that,
This big
in
one?
that dish, yes.
You all got so serious all of a sudden.
Oh, I know.
Well, this is serious
All this-
stuff, you know. All this food. Good thing it's not hot today.
A nice cool day, right? For all of us.
Looking good. How many dishes unusual? Is this to go back in here for a while until you put
Well,
it in?
until they're ready.
All
put this in. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, we're all set to go. No. Okay. That's fine. And I will work with the bread I'm doing today. All right. That's fine. Okay.
Now, do you want, should we start putting this stuff out?
As soon as everybody's seated,
Okay.
let's
Is
get them
everybody ready
seated.
on? Is Wayne still out there?
Wayne's ready to take a ski.
Okay, we better wait. Who's pulling him?
Oh, I hear the thunder. We better get out there before the thunder starts.
Wait, no, yeah.
Rolling.
Who's driving, Michael? Michael's driving on the boat?
This is Scott.
I don't think so. Oh, it's Jeffrey. It's Jeffrey driving. Oh, Wayne is in. Is he coming or go?
Oh, he's in the water.
Yeah, I know, but is he gone or is he coming back? I hope so. Fred? Has Wayne taken a ski yet, or is he just going?
Yes, he's all done.
He's all done? Oh, good, okay. We can put the dinner up.
Holly, would you like it first?
Okay.
You want to get this taste?
Oh. Oh, you're
Look at
okay.
that.